Baddie behavior. Baddie behavior. Classic, we're out and about. Obviously, this is a Baddie original.
Baddie. Welcome to Baddie Behavior, the podcast. I am Mariana Maxudi. You may know me from TikTok as Mar the Star. Some people do call me Martha, but my name is Mariana. You might know me from Michael. I have a sandwich named after me. I'm just running around New York and I love it. This podcast is about being a baddie and what that means. I'm going to have guests, but it's mostly going to be me doing what I know best, is just talking about myself and being a baddie. I want to talk about playing Division I soccer, the corporate world, marketing, entertainment. Started my own business. I went to grad school, my master's from Fordham Valley School of Business. I'm also a mentor there for their grad program. Just want to be a resource for young women, young baddies, everyone, because I didn't really have this growing up. We had other icons. I mean, we had obviously Britney Spears. You don't really hear me talk that much because I do create amazing videos that are Oscar worthy, to be honest. And I thought you need to hear my voice and see my face. So you're welcome. It would be a disservice if I wasn't on here talking to you. The other episodes will be more discussion based and other things, but I want to give you some background about who I am and where I've come from and where I see baddie going. Being a baddie is being unapologetically yourself, and I like to say there's no apologies, just baddie behavior. So if there's a little thing in here that you can take from your day to help build your confidence, build your portfolio or anything. I'm now 31. I've had extensive career in the corporate world. I worked for MTV for marketing, Global Citizen. I worked at a startup as a content creator. I've also been growing my own brand in TikTok and marketing and doing that. So I have a lot of different things to do. But honestly, the most important thing I'm actually really proud of is the sandwich that's named after me at the deli down the street. I'll get into that in a second. I would just rollerblade in the city and go to the West Side Highway, and then on my way back we would get like spicy chicken cutlet sandwiches. So I would be in my rollerblades and like we'd record in the deli. They'd always play songs, and like I would just post these videos, and then it would gain like some traction and they would go like viral, and people would be then asking Sammy from Four-Way Deli, like, what did Mar get? And he was like, I'm sick and tired of saying what you've got. So he's like, I'm just going to reprint the menu. So he reprinted the menu, put Mar the Star, my spicy chicken cutlet sandwich, which is spicy chicken cutlet, bacon, lettuce, tomato, a little bit of ranch, mozzarella on a hero. It's one of the biggest staples of my life, and I'm really proud of that. But that kind of started me thinking I could do something on my own. But let me take it back. I'm from Del Mar, New York. It's a suburb from Albany. I was born here in Manhattan at Lenox Hill Hospital in 1993. I don't know why I'm telling you this. My parents met in the city. My mom worked at Lenox Hill for sports medicine. My dad played soccer, and he's foreign. He's Albanian. He got injured. That's how they met. So we lived in Queens when I was a baby, all four of us, and briefly to my grandpa's house on Long Island. And then my dad moved us upstate to be in the suburbs with places to play. So I grew up there from elementary school to end of high school. So shout out to my Bethlehem baddies. But we were the sports family growing up. Me and my sister, we were twins. We were the soccer girls, and my dad would train us at 5 a.m. before school, and we'd go to school that day, then come back, then we'd drive to the city, New York, to play in our soccer teams, or Westchester or Long Island. So we were gone. When I was 11 to 18, we were training. We were athletes. We were very much on that mindset. My twin sister was All-American, and we won championships. It was great, but also it was a lot. But during this time, first of all, I loved being in a sweatsuit. I would design all of our high school gear. I would make sure we'd do fundraising. I wanted us to have this specific look, wearing the sweatsuit to school. And then there's a sweatsuit that we train in, and I wanted us to have the logos. Like, I never really thought I was going to be a fashion designer. I always thought I was going to be a professional soccer player. But throughout my whole life, I always was obsessed with sweatsuits and hats. Like, it was my safe spot. I liked the way they felt, made me feel. So only now at like 31, when I start to look back, everything kind of was like laid out to what I was doing now. I loved doing videos. I would make my sister record me. I would do fake like Dasani commercials, and I would like interview my siblings playing baseball. I love storytelling. I wanted to be a movie trailer editor. This is like when you'd go to the movies and like it would be a voiceover. It'd be like, coming this fall is Kate Hudson in How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. I would eat it up every time. The music telling the story. I almost love the trailers more than the movies. I make YouTube videos of like the Real Soccer Girls of New York. It was like a parody of the Real Housewives. This was like 2007, 2008. And I loved it. So I went to college. I played Division I soccer at Marist and then transferred to Fordham to play with my sister. But once again, just living in a sweatsuit, I majored in communications. I had 2 majors, radio, TV, film, and PR. And then my minor was digital video production because I wanted to, that was my true love, was editing. But there wasn't really a platform. YouTube, I didn't want to do YouTube. I was just so busy with soccer at that time. And I had a flip phone until like sophomore year. So anyway, knew that was my path. Video editing, I loved my sweatsuits. But then I went to the corporate world. Out of college, after my master's degree, I went to MTV, and it was the best time of my life. It was like almost 5 years. It was like college after college, but I was an executive assistant. I couldn't get a job after college with my master's. It took me 6 months. I moved to the city. I had $5,000 saved up for my internship at Dateline NBC at Fordham. Wake up in my apartment at 5 a.m., take the bus to the D train because the Metro North wasn't going to get me there in time, and the Ram van wasn't running that early. So I'd get to Rockefeller Center at like 6:30. We had to be ready for the morning shows by 7. I would be there from 7 to like 4, and then I'd go to my night classes at Lincoln Center from 5 to like 10:30. Then take the Ram van back to campus, get back home at like 11:30, then do it all over again. I just wanted to be in the entertainment industry. I wanted to be part of that. My major in college, I would tell people I was E-News. Juliana Rancic was that girl. And people would laugh, and then people started to get it. So like I've been like doing this Baddie thing since I mean, I could remember being alive. Anyway, I love being part of a team. I love that environment. I love the entertainment aspect. I've always been on a team with a twin. So like when I moved to the corporate world, working for MTV, it was awesome, but I felt really disconnected. I mean, I was there every day with people, but from a community, from people, from myself, my past life. And like, obviously people are more aware of it now, but after you play Division I soccer, any college or even high school, losing that identity is really, really difficult, and it can be challenging. And I was just like grappling on, my sister was playing professional soccer in Europe, so she was still doing that. But it was when you go from 0 to 23 and that your whole life, then you have to start all over. So I was ready for it, though. I have a lot of different interests. So I told myself I was a professional New Yorker. I love New York. So I moved to the city without a job. No one would take me. I'm not a Nepo baby. My dad's foreign and was a super, and my mom is a teacher aide. So, I mean, I had no connections, but that's what kind of makes me good, is like I find a way in to what I want to do. So finally, LinkedIn easy apply. I was like, you know what, let me just apply. It was like VH1 executive assistant. With a master's degree, I was like, I will take anything. I just want a foot in the door. But it was for marketing for like the MTV team. And it was like my last ditch effort. Rent was due. I need this job. And I clicked with my boss there. She took me under her wing and like opened the doors and would bring me to meetings. And it was so hard to be an executive assistant, but I got that FaceTime with all the execs, and I was not scared to talk to them because I was like, hey, what do you want for lunch today? As like one of the most educated people there, but whatever, I don't really care. I got my master's degree because I could add a 5th year, so I redshirted and transferred in, and I used my resources. I could only afford college because of my scholarship, so I would have gone to a state school because my parents did not have the money for that, so that's fine. Anyway, so being in the corporate world was hard, but fun. And this is pre-COVID. So pre-COVID, it was a vibe. The city was a vibe. You would be out all day. Like I was in my Wall Street apartment with literally no window, and it was fine. You just went to sleep. It was fun. The one thing my mom always told me, I would go to work sitting at the desk all day. I was like, is this it? Is this what I'm meant to do? Like, cause I was like really bugging out. I'm like, I spent my whole life with my whole family, with my teammates, with that camaraderie, with like laughing and enjoying myself. And then I'm just like printing out documents for a meeting that people are yelling at. I'm just like, okay. And my mom's told me, she was like, I'm going to tell you something that no one has really ever told anyone, but she was like, your 20s are not supposed, they're hard. They're one of the hardest times of your life, and like, do not romanticize them. You're building your whole new world again. And I thank God she told me that, because everyone's like, oh, 23, 24 in this city, like, but it's hard. It's building your whole life up. So that's what kind of was my saving grace. And if anything you take from this episode, if you're in your 20s right now, or 30s. Like I'm in my early 30s now. I'm 31. I'm so glad as a 20s alumni to be out of that sphere. It was just chaotic. I felt older at 29 than I do at 31. So it's crazy, but you're doing a great job and every interaction is important. So I built my way up in the corporate world from an executive assistant to a coordinator. I was so ready to climb up the ladder because I wanted that stability. I wanted to be successful because, I want to take myself to the next level. So as I went up, I'm working in the VMAs, I'm working in Jersey Shore. It's like the environment is awesome. I met some of my best friends on earth there and I've learned so much and I'm so grateful for that. But I just felt like I had so much creativity to give and it was really media based and I could do it. It doesn't mean I want to do that math. I'm horrible at math. At college, I would fail the tests, I would study, and then we would get test corrections and get full credit because I was on the soccer team. Whatever. I'm bringing value to the school. So either I study or I score a goal. What do you want? So I cannot do both. You want to wake up at 5 a.m., go to the training room, run sprints, go on a bus, go on a plane, and then no. I loved it. That's what I'm used to. I don't want to do math. Anyway, so I built my career. I was like, boom, then COVID hit, and then TikTok started. And I was like, and we were all stuck. I'm stuck in Soho. I mean, I got to live in Soho with my best friend for a little bit, and then we couldn't go home because my mom had cancer the year before, and we didn't know. And I got really sick right away. We got the first round of COVID. I thought we were going to die, to be honest. Thank God my brother, Anton, told me, he was like, if you do get sick, just remember you need to breathe. Tell yourself to breathe. So we got sick. It was for 23 days. And I was so weak and dizzy. And I didn't tell my parents or anyone really it was that bad because there was nothing to do. We would call the hospital. That's before we had masks. And that's before there were any mandates. We had the first one. So me and Kelly, we'd crawl to our rooms and we'd tell each other, keep your eyes open, keep breathing. And young people died. A lot of young people died here, and people from my college died. We'd call the hospital. They said we were too young to come in, and that's the demographic that died. And we'd hear the sirens. We'd see the trucks of all that stuff. Anyway, it's not like a COVID story, but during COVID, we started to dabble with TikTok. We were bored. The first TikTok I did was me catching a mouse in our apartment. Me and Kelly. I got to use my editing skills. I would always make TikToks versions before TikTok on my Instagram stories, 2016, 17, 18, because I need to get it out of me. It was this story and my life. I thought my life is so interesting. Anything I do is interesting. I don't need to be, I think the big events I go to are kind of boring. I think me walking down the street and interacting with someone and something happens, that piques my interest more because that's where kind of the magic of life is in the mundane. So my big break on TikTok was when I spray painted my away bag. It was what's it called? Powder pink. I called it Chuggy Millennial Pink. Mind you, I'm a millennial. Peak millennial, and it was me in my apartment during COVID, just spray painting it beige. I called it the beige Baddie bag. I was so bored, but I love doing arts and crafts, and it was the perfect culmination of me spray painting my apartment where people were really pissed off at that, and then I pissed people off by saying millennial pink was chuggy. I'm mind you, I bought it that color, so I'm chuggy. I'm calling myself chuggy. And then so that got over 1 million views. And then Samsonite commented and they were like, oh girl, why are you having that bag, you Samsonite? I'm like, okay, yeah. So then I got partnership with that, but then I started to grow, get thousands of followers. So I call them my baddies, and I call my friends my baddies. What's up, baddie? So it's been kind of a word I've been saying. In high school, we'd be in the hallway, hey girl. It was that team effort. It was just something natural. So when I got the sandwich named after me, I was like, oh, I should make merch. I think that would be funny. So I was designing my Bodega Baddie sweatshirt. Then I was thinking, I'm like, you know what? That's fun. That's cool. I think it's funny, but I would like to design my own sweatsuits and stuff. Cause I would go to Aritzia, I would go to Brandy Melville, and the stuff were okay, but I wanted some patches on it, or I wanted it tailored a certain way that it wasn't there. So I'd go to the garment district, or I'd go to my mom and she would sew my pants. And then I'd go to my dad's apartment in Brooklyn and I'd be like, can you please fix this? So I would kind of be tailoring my own things, and I would make my own beanies. And I didn't even think it would even be a thing. I'm in the corporate world. Long story short, I get laid off. I tear my Achilles. That's the next episode. And me sharing my life on TikTok really opened doors for me. So I got laid off, and then It was right after my surgery, and I recorded it. Got right off the phone, and I was like, oh, wow. I'm like, this sucks. And I never got laid off before. I felt vulnerable. I felt insecure. But my comfort is recording and video and telling. And it kind of popped off a little bit. And then people were like, oh, I got laid off too. I got laid off. Thank you for sharing. And then one of my bits was like me being a corporate baddie, me just like at my computer, like so bored and like playing a song or whatever. Since I wasn't a corporate baddie anymore, I made a playlist. I'm like, hey guys, this is my former corporate baddie playlist. And it was like Stockholm Syndrome, like Here Comes the Sun, like these really dramatic songs that made me feel how I got laid off. But it was the best thing that ever happened to me. And they were so nice. They let me keep my laptop, let me keep my phone. I have great connections with them still. Yeah, I was written in Business Insider 2 times for that article, but quoting my TikTok, quoting my playlist. Just like I was being interviewed, I'm just like, and I have a sandwich named after me. I'm like, you know what? Like, there can be something here. I get like these downloads of things of like, it's not even a thought. Like, I even know how to explain it, but baddie behavior. I was like, baddie behavior. And I like literally blacked out, went to legalzoom.com. This is not like promoted. Last summer, I was just like, you know what? Just so uncomfortable. I was like on unemployment. I was like not happy with covering for my torn Achilles. I was doing some TikTok promotions, but I'm like, I'm sick of making other people money, and I have so much to give, and I want to create cute clothes for myself. Honestly, I just want to make it for myself. So my mom made me learn Adobe Illustrator. She gave me like her software. She's such a baddie. She's taught me. She was like, this is what you're going to do. And I learned how to use Adobe Illustrator, and I just created my company with nothing. I think I had $100. I was like, oh, let me just like get this in there. I submitted a trademark for baddie behavior, and it just got approved. So if you're using baddie behavior, I will come after you. But you can't replicate me, so it's fine. Anyway, so I just started designing. I wanted to create capsule collections. I wanted to create things that you can mix and match, because that's how I live my life. I change outfits probably like 5 times a day. Depends what I'm doing. Whenever I'm in doing something, it needs to look the part. It needs to look like it, then I can do the job. I can't just like do it. I love styling. I love wearing different clothes, and I love the athleisure look. That's when I feel my best. So I made over 30 SKUs of things, which I've gotten told a lot of ways of like, that's too much. But no, it's not too much, because I didn't want to just drop one piece of clothing that's like, oh, this is merch. It's not merch. This is a clothing brand with different lines within them. I have the Heritage Collection, the Varsity Collection, Bodega Baddies, and now the Olympian line. Every line that I made is part of my life. Baddie behavior is me. Yeah, so like I'll go into it more. This was like more of a background of who I am, what I've done. The next episode, I'll go into how tearing my Achilles did change my life. I just wanted to show you that pivoting in life is necessary and it's important. I'm running my brand, and I got a part-time job at Viore. I've never worked retail before because I always was training for soccer or in the corporate world. As someone running a clothing brand, I want to know how it is to be on a team IRL. If I'm going to be launching my own store, if I'm going to be in a space where customers are buying things, I need to learn. So I'm excited, and it gets me off my phone and talking to the world and talking to people, and me working on my skills of pitching myself or just like being out there, because like it's been isolating building my own brand by myself. So I also want to take the stigma away. Like, going after your dreams is not linear. There's so many different ways, and I honestly love the process of learning. If everything sold out quickly, my website wouldn't have gotten better. I code my own website. I do my own marketing. I do all the product shots, everything on my iPhone. That's what I do. My videos for marketing. So like, if I couldn't do this by myself, I wouldn't have done this. That's when you need to have investors. But right now, do everything myself, and I do have a really great support system. Emma is our head of PR. I found her at the grocery store. She goes to NYU. My family's great, and my friends are really supportive. So it's really important to have people in your corner that believe in you, and also not caring what people think too. Because there are times where I wake up and I'm like, what the heck am I doing? Like, what? I'm like, when did this happen? But playing soccer, I'm used to these moments. The best times, like when I'm doing PKs or winning a championship, or like in a game or losing in a high stressful situation, most of the time I'm like kind of out of my body, and like my body knows what to do. So when I'm in situations where like I'm not thinking that much like this, I know it's the right path. Next episode, I'm going to deep dive in like how my Achilles really put a wrench in things. And also, like a few days before I launched, I broke my other ankle. I know you guys are sick of me on crutches. I'm sick of it more, but Division I sports really wreaks havoc on your body, and it deteriorates more as you go. So there's a lot to talk about, but these episodes, I don't want them to be that long. I don't really watch that many podcasts. For now, this is a good start. Being a baddie is being yourself, and there's no apologies, just baddie behavior. You heard it here first. I'm so thirsty right now. Is that like ASMR? All right. We're wrapping this up. I'll see you next time.